Hey y'all, welcome back to the pod.
Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're talking about the absolutely legendary...
The Pope of Trash. The King of Filth.
The Saint of... I don't know,
Bad
something.
taste.
Yeah.
Poor taste. John Waters.
John Waters.
Himself.
The Saint of Sewage. That's
the
good.
Saint of Sewage. Absolutely.
John Waters. And we're really excited to talk about him. He has some truly actual, like, groundbreaking work.
Yes.
And it's kind of crazy when you, like, see this stuff. But we'll get into all of that.
It's even crazier now. I actually just found out about the Tennessee bills today. It's even crazier now that this came out in the 70s and now we're just seeing all this crazy political stuff going on.
Yeah, guys, comment your politics down below.
Yeah, comment your think piece down below on the Tennessee anti-drag bill.
Yeah, let's get some engagement. So we're going to be going in chronological order, observing his development as a all-around filmmaker, and also observing the development of technology because that was fun to see, like, whatever.
I think we should first just give a little, like, overview of who John Waters is. Basically, he's a Baltimorean.
He's a Baltimorean.
He's a Baltimorean who loves Baltimore. He makes all his movies set in Baltimore.
I don't think he's ever set a movie in somewhere that isn't Baltimore.
Yeah, it's always Baltimore. They always have accents. At least one person in the movie has accents.
Yeah.
And we love Baltimore accents.
And all his movies are like, I don't even think gay is the right word. It is further than that. It is beyond.
It's beyond, definitely.
Yeah. And all of them are about just, like, kind of disgusting things in some way or another.
Some of them. It's just really funny stuff. So he's known for shock value is what we're trying to say, basically. He's known for, like, doing stuff that was shocking back in the 70s. I think... Actually,
honestly,
you know what?
Still shocking today.
I'll talk about certain movies and how I think they've aged and stuff like that. But I think it depends movie to movie. But there's some that are definitely still shocking.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of the stuff in it will ever be normalized.
Especially his self-proclaimed trilogy of trash is definitely the peak of his shock value. And then later in his career, he kind of gets more subdued and his depictions of things.
Yes, he's also a very early example of camp, I guess. I don't know how early. I don't know, like, the history of camp, but I would say that he's pretty early on, ahead of his time. And I think he's, like, one of the only people I've seen do modern camp in a good way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it's not just with, like, the visuals, it's with his dialogue and stuff like that. I think in other campy movies, it more relies on visuals, but I think his movies are just, like, camp in every way you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, so speaking of his movies, let's just dive into them. We're going to talk about them one by one. There are some that we haven't seen, like his oldest movies we unfortunately haven't seen.
And we're talking about, like, the silent movies
the silent
with Divine.
Films.
I want to watch it, but I don't know. People have definitely said everyone has to start somewhere for those ones. So, yeah.
And then we're also not going to talk about Crybaby because we just don't feel like it.
No, we are. We're going to talk about it very briefly.
Okay, we'll touch on it, but whatever.
So basically, John Waters has this, like, cast of people that he used for a lot of his early movies, and most of them are still in his newer stuff too. I'm pretty sure he started a production studio called, like, Dreamland Studios or something.
Yeah, that came up when I was doing my research.
The Dreamland people, basically, like David Lochary, Mink Stoll, Mary something. Yeah, all those people are a part of his, like, main core group of actors, and they work together heavily during his earlier movies, especially. Also, before we go into the first movie, definitely want to give you a trigger warning for all of these.
Yeah,
pretty much all of them have, like, any trigger.
Look up a list of trigger warnings, and just, like, that's all in John Waters movies.
Yeah, but definitely trigger warning for sexual assault is a big one.
Yeah.
And then
that's a big theme for his first couple of movies.
Yeah. And I don't know what else, but honestly, if you have seen a John Waters movie, you know.
There's, like, trigger warning.
Just don't watch this.
Necrophilia.
Yeah. There's a lot.
And spoiler warning, because we're spoiling all of these movies because we don't care. and we want to talk about them. So you better catch up. Watch John Waters movies. They're very worth it. The first movie on our list today is Multiple Maniacs.
This one is in black and white.
We watched it with the John Waters commentary,
yes, on
and
Criterion.
It was wonderful. This was his first movie with sound. Or I mean, the others had sound, but it was like music. This was the first one with like dialogue that he recorded on set. So this movie starts normally. Divine and her troupe of performers get as many people as they can into their shows.
These assorted sluts, fags, dykes, and pimps know no bounds. They have committed acts against God and nature, acts that by their mere existence would make any decent person recoil in disgust.
And at the end, Divine robs them all at gunpoint. Until after one of their shows, Divine gets bored and decides to just kill them all. You'd expect this mass murder to be an inciting incident, but no. It goes unreferenced for the rest of the movie. The real inciting incident is when Divine's boyfriend cheats on her and gets pegged. Divine finds out and is on her way to kill them, but then she gets raped by glue sniffers, and then she goes to church, becomes a lesbian with one of the nuns, and the two of them go off to find Divine's boyfriend. Divine's boyfriend kills her daughter, and then Divine kills everyone and eats her boyfriend and gets raped by a giant lobster. The National Guard comes in and kills Divine.
Oh my god, like, could you be more genius?
This is a strong start, a very bold start.
Well, it's not a start, but you know, like for his speaking movie.
Yeah, there's just so much.
Okay, so with Multiple Maniacs, since we watched it with commentary, I absolutely love it. I don't know what my experience would be if we didn't, because I don't know. I feel like it would still be so good.
Yeah, I think I would have paid more attention to what was happening, but then like John just started telling stories sometimes, and I was enthralled by them.
I want to eventually watch all his movies with commentary because I love the stories he tells. He is such a cutie. Like,
yeah, he talked about like shooting in his family home of in Baltimore.
There was like no budget. His parents funded this one, and they
would just go around like on the streets.
They had no idea what they were doing, and if they did, they would have like taken the money away for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He talks about recording in a church.
Oh yeah, and they had to like distract the pastor while they did the nun sex scene. The nun lesbian sex scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think he's like very against religion. He just thought that'd be funny.
Yeah.
That's very much
he's not against anything. He's pro everything.
Yeah. It's really funny.
And I think the big elephant in the room, the lobster scene at the end, I don't think we'll ever get a true and proper explanation for that. I think it will always remain just one of those things, you know?
Yeah, him talking about it, he was like, oh, can't believe we did that. What was wrong with us? What were we thinking? And then, like, during the lobster scene, I think one of the lobster's arms fell off. And then he was like, oh, there goes the arm. I didn't notice this till this time I watched it or whatever. And he is so funny. I love him. He's so
funny. He's such a cutie. Yeah, this movie, very, very strong, very profound, you might say. And a lot of his movies would follow this kind of structure of just Divine going around and doing stuff.
Madness. Absolute madness by Divine. And I'm sure you have all heard of the next one. It's kind of going around on TikTok now too.
This movie really started the John Waters resurgence. This next movie that we're going to talk about, Pink Flamingos.
Yeah. Even our parents have seen this. I feel like this is his most well-known movie.
Infamous,
even though,
I think, is a better word.
Yeah, infamous. He made Hairspray, but somehow people still know more about this one. I don't know. That's weird to me because it seems like something no one would ever talk about.
Yeah. So let's summarize what happens in Pink Flamingos because a lot happens.
Also, I want to say, like, every time you read one of these captions, I'm like crying laughing. Like, just reading the summaries of his movies, especially Polyester. You'll see.
Divine lives in a trailer with her mom and son and companion, and she is known as the filthiest person alive. The Marbles, a couple who kidnaps and sells babies to lesbians, among other things, get word of this and want to claim the title for themselves. They send a spy to gather info on Divine and then send her a box full of poop and declare their intentions to be filthier. Later, at Divine's birthday party, there's a bunch of nasty stuff happening, and the Marbles call the cops on her. Divine and her party kill and eat the cops. Divine and her son go to the Marbles' house and lick all the furniture. Divine gives her son head, and they freeze some pregnant women in the Marbles' basement. Meanwhile, the Marbles burn down Divine's trailer, and when she finds the burned remains, she kidnaps the Marbles, holds a trial, and executes them. They move to Idaho, and Divine eats dog poop.
Yes. And there's that iconic speech that's recirculating now where she's like, kill everyone now. My politics are kill everyone now. I'll put it in.
Could you give us some of your political beliefs?
Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat shit. Filth are my politics. Filth is my life.
This is a truly iconic movie. Groundbreaking once again. Somehow even nastier than Multiple Maniacs.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, obviously this is the most infamous one. I don't think anything in this movie will ever be normalized or seen as like okay in society.
But honestly, I agree with Divine.
Kill everyone now.
Yeah. Kill everyone now.
I don't know if we can say that on YouTube. We'll probably bleep that or something.
This movie is just iconic in every way. My Minecraft skin is Divine in this movie. Her entire look throughout this is so good.
This is not my favorite looks for Divine, but I definitely think that they're iconic because of how popular the movie became and like how iconic that imagery is.
Yeah, and just how
the red
striking,
dress.
how striking the red dress is, the makeup look with like the planned receding hairline or whatever that was, like the wig starting halfway across Divine's head.
Yes. It's trailer trash at its finest.
Truly.
And most fabulous. But yeah, this one is fantastic. A must watch, I think, in your lifetime. Definitely skip parts if it makes you uncomfortable.
Yes, this is also the first of the aforementioned trilogy of trash that John made. Somehow Multiple Maniacs isn't included in that trilogy, but whatever. I think trilogy of trash just sounds better than whatever other title it would
Quad
get.
of trash, I don't know.
Quad of queef, I don't know. Next up, Female Trouble.
So this is my number one favorite John Waters movie and maybe my favorite John Waters movie of all time. I'll let Celeste talk more about it, but best Divine looks, and we'll get more into that, and I'll definitely put up some pictures for the girlies because
it is one of his more absurd movies. I mean, I don't
think so.
I'm just going to say it's one of his more absurd movies about every single one.
Yeah.
Because they're all so absurd and funny. Except for maybe like Hairspray. Hairspray is pretty like...
I love Hairspray.
Normal, but it's still so good.
Yeah.
So Female Trouble is about Dawn Davenport, a high school student who wants cha-cha heels for Christmas. When her parents don't get them for her, she kills her mom and runs away and gets pregnant. Time passes. Dawn is living with her daughter and gets married to Gator. One day at a beauty salon run by the Dashers, they launch a scheme for Dawn to do a ton of crime and they'll make her famous. Dawn and Gator break up and he moves to Detroit. Gator's mom is mad and throws acid in Dawn's face, disfiguring her. The Dashers stop Dawn from getting corrective surgery because the scars will make her more famous. Dawn's daughter kills her dad and tells her mom she's going to become a Hindu. Dawn says she'll kill her if she does. Later, Dawn is performing at a nightclub and she sees her daughter in religious attire. Dawn kills her, starts firing on the crowd. The police come and arrest Dawn. She gets sentenced to death. A very familiar plot to Multiple Maniacs. Still really good.
Oh, I think it's like his most perfect movie. Like actually, I'm being dead serious.
No, I agree with you. It's so funny. His plots are all just like someone goes crazy and kills a ton of people and they're perfect.
This is the only one I have the Criterion edition of. I'm obsessed with it. Oh my god, I love Criterion, like the little just designs of the covers and the inside and everything. It's like leopard print on the inside, and the DVD I think is red or something. It's just so good.
I think isn't this also where that iconic quote comes from, or is that something else?
Which one?
Boom.
Oh, yeah. We'll put it in right here.
Okay, lesbians, I caught you. Bumping pussies is a violation of jail rules.
That's one of our favorite quotes from the movie.
We quote it all the times if we see any lesbians in a movie.
Yes.
Automatic.
It's over for them.
It's over.
Us at Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Yes. This one is too good. I think these are Divine's best looks. The makeup slays in this, and she does become the most beautiful girl in the world.
Yeah.
And she did deserve the cha-cha heels.
Yeah.
All of this is warranted. You
Yeah.
should have gotten her the cha-cha heels.
I agree completely.
Yes.
She should have gotten the cha-cha heels, and we could have avoided this mess.
Mm-hmm.
Also, her evil look with the acid face is so stunning.
That's the cover. It's like purple, and
It is wonderful.
I'll just put up a picture, but yeah.
Look at the screen. Beauty.
It slays on Blu-ray. I love it so much. And they have Divine's song at the beginning too, called Female Trouble. Divine also has a music career, if y'all didn't know that. Great music.
Yeah. Go listen to Divine on Spotify.
Stream Divine. Divine is my bias.
Someone get Divine in your Spotify Wrapped and send it to us.
Wait, we should.
We should.
Okay, that's our goal. We did a Spotify Wrapped rant. I don't know if that episode is still up, but yeah.
The next movie, the ending of the trilogy of trash, is Desperate Living. This movie we just finished this morning because we were watching it really late last night, and I was tired.
Great movie to eat breakfast too.
Yeah.
Might I add.
Might I add. So, the delusional housewife Peggy and her nurse kill her husband and run away. A cross-dressing cop stops them, and after stealing their underwear, he points them towards Mortville, a town of criminals. The two are summoned before the Queen of Mortville, told the rules, and given a change of clothes to better fit in. They stay the night in Moe's motel after giving him a lottery ticket and $6 for a room. The ticket is a winner, and Mo takes the money into the city so he can get gender reassignment surgery. He's trans. He comes back and shows his girlfriend his new ween, but she hates it, so he cuts it off. Meanwhile, the princess falls in love with a garbage man and runs away with him. The queen's men kill the garbage man, kidnap the princess with the help of Peggy. The princess is given rabies, and Peggy is responsible for making rabies to give to the rest of the citizens. The princess and some nudists walk in on Moe's girlfriend, stitching him up, and they launch an attack on the queen. They give the queen rabies, shoot Peggy in the butthole, and the whole town eats the queen's remains.
Yes.
And I think during the butthole shooting scene, Peggy drops one of the hardest lines.
Go ahead. A single gunshot can never destroy the beauty of fascism.
Which is just so funny
Bars.
that she casually drops that. So yeah, this movie is an Antifa movie, if you didn't know.
Okay, I feel like now that I've heard just from that like description, I might like this movie better. Like, I would say it's one of my lesser favorites of the John Waters movies.
I think it's just one of our lesser favorites because we watched it when we were really tired and wanted to go to sleep.
Yeah, I think hearing that description, I'm like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, because the opening scene is so funny with Peggy like shouting at kids.
Oh, also, we didn't even... in Pink Flamingos, he's the narrator, and I love his narration.
Wait.
This is his Baltimore accent at its finest in Pink Flamingos.
Hello, moviegoers. This is Mr. J speaking to you for Dreamland Studios. This beautiful mobile home you see before you is the current hideout of the notorious beauty Divine, the filthiest person alive.
Yeah, he comes in like at the end when Divine eats poop and says, "Yep, that's real," or something like that. And
Yeah. And then he just narrates the beginning too and everything. Oh, I love him. I love his voice too so much.
Yeah, he's wonderful. This movie is really funny. I was reading about the production. he went to one of his friend's farms and started stealing like plywood from around Baltimore to build this set. And so that's where all the exteriors take place. And then they also built a set inside like a studio apartment for all the interiors. And people said that filming was a nightmare because at the farm the sewage kept like failing on them because there was too many people there, and at the apartment it was just not ready for a film to be made there.
Yeah,
which is really funny.
I mean, that makes sense for a movie called Desperate Living.
Yeah. It was made with like $65,000, yet they built a whole castle, and might I say, better than the Disney World castle. If we're being honest, let's be honest.
So yeah, like I said, this is one of my lesser favorites, but also I might change my mind about that in the future. I enjoyed it, and I thought it still had like that perfect line delivery. Also, what is her name? Edith, the queen. She plays the queen. I think her name is Edith in real life. I love her in this movie. I think she's where she belongs on the throne, obviously. And I feel like people think we're probably joking that we love John Waters movies so much, but no, we're dead serious.
Yeah, we're dead serious. We love John Waters movies. Edith is always like one of the most iconic characters.
I genuinely think they're good. Genuinely.
And yeah, that's Desperate Living. The next movie we have Polyester. Isn't this the Odorama movie?
Yes, this one was made with Odorama. So there's a smell card. If you don't know what Odorama is, there's an intro in the beginning of the movie that explains it. It's basically you get a card and you scratch and sniff for every. And honestly, you should be very afraid if it's a John Waters movie and there's an Odorama.
I think like in the beginning, they have you scratch and sniff number one, and it's like a rose smell, and then throughout the rest of the movie, it's just awful smells,
like vomit the entire time. Yeah,
and it's so funny that they like condition you with the rose smell, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, you're smelling poo now. You're smelling a fart." I think the first one in the actual movie is when what's her name, Francine's husband farts under the covers. But anyway, let's get into the plot. Francine, played by Divine, obviously, is a housewife whose husband owns a midnight theater, whose son is a serial foot stomper wanted by the police, and whose daughter drops out of high school or something. Her husband cheats on her with his secretary, and they run away together while Francine becomes an alcoholic. Her son gets arrested for foot stomping, and her daughter Lulu gets pregnant. She goes to get an abortion, but is chased away by anti-abortion protesters and tries to induce a miscarriage until Francine takes her to a Catholic unwed mother's home. Lulu's boyfriend starts to trash Francine's house until her mom catches him, or until Francine's mom catches him and shoots him. Lulu escapes, finds her dead boyfriend, and tries to kill herself. Francine finds her and saves her, and things start to look better. Her son is released from prison, and Lulu becomes a hippie who starts knitting. She even falls in love with some guy, but Francine falls in love with some guy, and soon finds out that he was sent by her mom so that they could steal divorce money from Francine. Francine's ex-husband also comes back to kill Francine, but her kids kill him and his secretary first. Francine's friend arrives and accidentally run over Francine's former boyfriend and her mom. The end. A happy ending.
I feel like the Letterboxd one is funnier than yours.
Well, there's just so much that happened, and I tried to get it all in there.
Wait, hang on. I'm going to read it. It's much shorter, but it's funny still. It's sensational. A suburban housewife's world falls apart when her pornographer husband admits that he's serially unfaithful to her. Her daughter gets pregnant, and her son is suspected of being the foot fetishist who's been breaking local women's feet. I like that one. They're both great.
It's good, but it doesn't summarize the whole movie.
Yeah. Whatever.
I hit the beat for beat action.
You sure did. This one I don't even love that much, but I think it's the funniest, like, to talk about, I guess. I don't know.
I think it's really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
I think it's good, but it's not one of my favorites.
I also think the concept of the serial foot stomper is really funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, who comes up with this stuff?
John Waters. Duh. Who else?
And yeah, I feel like, do you think this movie has a John Waters insert? Do you think the pornographer husband is supposed to be a John Waters insert or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because I feel like he does do self-inserts in a lot of
Where?
his movies. And
As
Cecil
who?
B. Demented.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later in the episode. Stick around.
Oh yeah, we have some takes on Cecil B. Demented.
Yeah. The next movie is his most mainstream, his most well-known.
No, Pink Flamingos. It's most well known, I think.
His most widely accepted.
Yes, there we go.
The next movie is Hairspray.
And yes, John Waters did invent Hairspray. I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
I thought it
didn't know
might have
that
been
either.
a musical before that, but it's not.
Yeah.
John Waters invented it. He's a genius.
John Waters invented it, and then John Travolta.
destroyed it.
Yeah, we're not talking about you, John. Get away from us.
Wrong John.
Yeah, wrong, John. Tracy and her friend Penny auditioned to get on the Corey Collins show.
Corny Collins.
It's corny? I thought it was
Yes.
Corey.
No, it's corny.
Okay. The Corny Collins show. Tracy makes it, but Penny doesn't. The current star dancer of the Corny Collins show, Amber, is jealous of Tracy, who's getting more attention and stealing her boyfriend. She gets hired as a model, gets a new hairdo, but the school doesn't like it, so they send her to the special ed class that they send all the black kids to keep them back. Her new classmates take her and Penny to an R&B record shop where they teach them new dances, and Penny starts to date Seaweed, the son of the owner of the shop. Penny's parents are horrified and get a psychiatrist, played by John Waters, to, I guess, brainwash her into becoming racist. Seaweed helps Penny break out and run away from her parents. After becoming the new star of the Corny Collins show, Tracy advocates for the integration of the show before a race riot breaks out. She's arrested. Amber's parents try to bomb a pageant, but then Tracy is pardoned and wins the pageant.
Oh, this one is iconic.
What a wonderful plot.
This is the most iconic, I would say. Do you think this is aged poorly? I've seen a lot of people say they don't like the politics of this movie.
I don't... What specifically?
I guess just the race relation stuff. I don't know.
You know, I haven't read any of the arguments, so I will refrain to comment.
Okay. I mean, I don't think people are really saying a lot about it, just that they don't like how it aged, I guess. I don't know. This was the last movie Divine was in, Rip Divine. We love you to death. You absolutely slayed this one. Edna Turnblad, 8.
I opened up her Wikipedia to read about her a little bit, and the section on her death like genuinely made me cry. Like, that's the saddest thing I've ever read.
What was it?
She died in a hotel in her sleep from heart failure, and afterwards her friends came up to get her to like go do stuff for the day or whatever. And they found her, and they all just kind of sat around her body for a couple hours, like mourning her. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's so sad."
Did she just die of natural causes?
I think
what?
heart failure. And
what?
And then her friends had to like stop the press from like taking pictures when she was like wheeled out of the hospital. Which
okay,
that's, like,
well, I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah,
Let's stop talking about this.
That was the saddest story ever.
Yeah,
and I don't want to think about it anymore.
Moving on.
R.I.P. Divine, a true queen, innovator, and trailblazer.
Absolutely, 100%.
And the fact that she was on like David Letterman with John Waters,
yes,
like
and she performed
2
her
times, is so iconic.
Honestly, David Letterman kind of a goat for having
I
them
know.
on like in that time period. And yeah, I don't know. He definitely was uncomfortable, but it was really funny.
Yeah, that's Hairspray. We love this movie just like we love every single other movie by John Waters.
Yeah. I even like the ones that other people loathe. So do you.
Yeah. I like all of his movies. Every single time we watch one, Naomi says, I don't know if you're going to like it or if you're not going to like it. Like, why would I not like it?
I don't know. I feel like some of this stuff might cross the line for you sometimes,
Like
but
what?
I guess not. I don't know.
Okay. The next movie is Serial Mom.
What year did this one come out? 1994?
Yeah, 1990 something. Let me look. It's up here. Yeah, 1994. Oh yeah, we're skipping. This is Crybaby came out in 1990.
Okay, let's briefly talk about
Okay.
Crybaby. Crybaby has Johnny Depp, Willem Dafoe, and Willem Dafoe slaps Johnny Depp on the butt and calls him like baby boy or something. So yeah, that's it. That's all we're gonna say. Go watch that
Make an
one.
edit of that and send it to me. I do like it, but I just don't remember it, and I was tired of taking notes. So now, properly moving on to Serial Mom. Beverly is a middle-class housewife and also secretly a serial killer. Slowly, her family, friends, and detectives start to put the pieces together. Her family tries to help her evade the police until she eventually kills someone on stage at a concert. The media loves her, but she gets arrested. During the trial, she fires her lawyer after he tries to say she's insane and represents herself. She wins the trial by undermining each of the witnesses and then murders one of the jurors immediately after the trial.
And also Suzanne Summers is in this, and she says she's going to play Serial Mom in the biopic or something.
It's so funny. This movie is, like, honestly his most, like, unoffensive, just kind of fun little romp.
I think Hairspray is still the most unoffensive.
Really? I think this is more unoffensive.
It's killing. It's more,
I guess.
It's making fun of suburbia. People would get offended at that.
Oh my God. Are we ever going to actually do an episode on that?
No, I don't think we need to, because I really only wanted to talk about Serial Mom.
Is this like one of the first John you watched?
Yeah, this was the first John Waters movie I watched.
Wow.
I think I watched it because of Karsten, as I usually only watch the first movie from a director for. That's how I learned about Greg Araki too. Shout out Karsten.
Shout out Greg. We got to talk about him again soon.
Yeah, we're going to delete that fucking episode and redo it.
Yeah, don't go looking for the Greg episode anymore. It's not there. I think. Anyway, I don't have much else to say about Serial Mom except for Shaggy's in this movie.
Shaggy. It also has the girl who played Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray. Also, I was going to say before, Hairspray kind of reminds me of Drop Dead Gorgeous in certain ways.
I guess.
Like the type of comedy and that, like, they bomb a pageant. Remember the shooting at the end of that movie? Yeah, that movie is great too.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break before Pecker because I have to pee really bad.
Go piss, girl.
Hey, y'all, back from the little break, and now it's time to talk about Pecker. Pecker is a photographer who works at a sandwich shop and takes pics on the side. He holds an art show in the sandwich shop and gets recognized by a New York art girlie. She gives him a gallery space in New York, and he sells his photos for a ton of money. Once he gets back, though, he finds out that the town thinks he's sold out and turned on them, and they start ostracizing him and his family. Pecker turns down an offer for another show in New York and tells them they can come to Baltimore if they want to see his work. The town accepts him back as he fully embraces Baltimore.
This is John Waters' love letter to Baltimore.
Do you think Pecker is a self-insert for John?
Maybe.
Because he says he wants to make films at the end.
Then yeah, probably.
Yeah, Pecker.
And I think just him
John,
being obsessed with the Baltimoreans as John Waters is makes sense. Also, I love Christina Ricci in this one. I think this is one of his more underrated movies. It's definitely like very chill John Waters movie.
Yeah,
chill vibes.
He is definitely chilling out after his earlier movies. These aren't as crazy and funny, but they're still pretty good.
They're still funny. They're still very funny.
But I mean, their humor is not derived from how crazy they are.
Yeah,
their humor is derived from just like
jokes.
Yeah.
And Pecker's photos are funny.
Yeah.
I love them.
There's like the little plot line where he takes pictures of like
Bush
and Bush is banned in Baltimore.
Yeah, in the clubs in Baltimore.
Yeah, so then these girls get arrested because the cops found out that they have Bush because of Pecker, and that's why they get mad at him.
And then his sister works at a gay bar,
yeah,
and that's her whole
works at a gay
character.
bar.
She calls everyone Mary. It's so funny. We'll put in some clips.
Hey, Larry! No teabagging. You know the rules. No balls on foreheads. Mary, that's me. Oh, I work in a gay bar in Baltimore. We call everybody Mary. You got a little sugar in you, don't you? Sure, I could tell. A little light in the loafer. Oh, I don't mean nothing. I love fags. That's me in the paper, you know. Are you homosexual?
No, I'm not.
You wouldn't understand that.
We'll put in
of her and her antics. I love her. She's my favorite character. Actually, no. Yeah, she is. Christina Ricci is second.
Yeah. It has the girl from Casper the Friendly Ghost. Is that Christina Ricci? Okay. I don't know the actors' names, but yeah, it's funny. That's where I recognized her from.
We love Casper in these parts.
Yeah. These parts are home to Casper fans. Yeah. Once again, just unoffensive. Are you ready?
It could be considered offensive still.
How?
The bush, the rats make love picture.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
But it's not as extreme.
You wouldn't watch
though.
this with your family on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, don't watch this with your family. But do watch it anyway. The next movie, the last movie that we're going to be talking about, 𝚑𝚘𝚅 be Demented. This movie is about the hypocritical diva actress Honey Whitlock, who gets kidnapped by Cecil B. Demented while at a movie premiere. Cecil takes her back to an abandoned theater and introduces her to his gang. He tells her of his plans to make a movie and that he needs her to be the star. After a bit of reluctance, she follows along, and they all roam around the city of Baltimore, obviously, doing terrorism and shooting various scenes in more ways than one. Eventually, after many shootouts, Honey sets her hair on fire to film the final scene at a drive-in theater. She's arrested, many of her crewmates are shot, but a few escape with the footage to finish the movie.
So you didn't mention how it's like supposed to be an underground movie. That's kind of the whole point. That it's supposed to be like an underground low budget movie and that these people are crazy and they're kidnapping her and forcing her to star in
Well,
it.
I feel like saying that this gang is kidnapping this girl to make a movie implies that they're crazy. Yeah, they're a cult who worship Cecil and want to make movies. And it's really funny. It's supposed to be, I'm pretty certain that it's supposed to be John making fun of himself and how he shot movies when he was younger. And while we were watching it, we were reading the reviews for it. And I guess so many people just missed that completely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have horrible takes on this movie. Like, they think that he's being dead serious when he holds a gun to Forrest Gump's character's head because the characters hate that movie so much.
Yeah, like there's a scene.
Like, they think he's dead serious.
Yeah.
Like, that he actually hates those movies enough to kill someone. Like, that's his statement. Like, no. This
Yeah.
is like a complete satire.
Yeah,
he's making fun of those movies, yes, but he's also making fun of the people who are pretentious and annoying and are like, I don't watch normal movies.
Yeah. Like they go to the set of Forrest Gump 2 and like
the idea of that is just so funny.
and they hold the whole crew hostage. And
Forrest Gump 2.
And some people say like, but the shots at Forrest Gump, like how do you miss that these psycho characters who are trying to murder Forrest Gump, how do you miss that this is a joke?
Yeah, and just the way he presents the characters is like such a joke too. Like them being like worship Satan, like
why would you take anything they say
I
seriously?
know.
Why would you
I don't
consider
get it.
them to be like the arbiters of truth?
Yeah. Oh, I cannot stand people who take John Waters movies dead serious.
Yeah,
like this is John Waters.
Yeah, Cecil is currently on his way to shoot you.
Yeah, he's on his way since you said something bad about this movie.
Yeah. Also, the makeup looks for Honey Whitlock are iconic.
I know, especially when they're at the Forrest Gump set.
Yeah.
And she has the guns in there.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
I think that's like the background on Letterboxd.
It is. I love it.
It's so good. I want to do that look. That seems fun.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like so absurd, over the top fun. Yeah, this movie is good.
I was gonna
I don't
say-
care what other people say.
I was gonna say, I think this is based on like a true story from someone that John Waters is friends with. Let me look up her name real quick. So this movie is loosely based on the story of Patty Hearst, who John Waters is friends with, which is insane. She was kidnapped by like a leftist crazy group and they like made her do crimes with them, and then she like kind of did crimes on her own. I think, I don't know the whole story. This is based on very limited research, so please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'll pin your comment if you know more about this than I do. But yeah, I just think that's insane and I wanted to mention it.
Yeah, I think any like bit of John Waters movies that are based on reality is crazy, because how? There's also a whole like subplot in this movie that I think is really funny, where Cecil bans his entire group from having sex until the movie is like, until they finish filming for the movie, and he wants them all to channel that energy into making the movie. And so at the end, after they finish the film and like record the final shot, they just all start like having sex on top of the projector room at the drive-in theater. And it's really funny that like the climax of this movie is.
And also, like,
Whatever.
there was this couple that wanted, or like, there was someone who wanted to be gay or something, and then he gets to be gay at the end of the movie.
It's the
guy from Knives Out, Michael Shannon.
The guy who talks about how we need to build the border wall in Knives Out is gay in this, and at the end he gets to be gay with some guy. But yeah, those are all the movies.
Let's do a quick ranking.
A quick ranking. I don't think I can rank.
You're gonna have to.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They're all so good. Whatever. How many
and
are
also
there?
I have seen A Dirty Shame. Celeste hasn't. I like it. It's not as bad as everyone says.
So there are 9 movies that we talked about here.
10.
10?
Crybaby.
Oh.
We're still ranking Crybaby.
Okay. What is your least favorite movie? By John Waters.
My number 10. I kind of want to change this real quick. Hang on.
Naomi is shuffling around her Letterboxd list, and I am going to be improvising my entire list. I don't have it prepared, and I'm just going to say right off rip, my least favorite movie, Pecker.
That's crazy. Anyways, mine is going to be Desperate Living, I think.
Desperate Living? Really?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked it too, and none like I would still give all these at least like 4.5 stars. I'm dead serious. Every single one of these is so good.
Yeah, with most of our other rankings, we like every single one of these, like a lot, but we just have to like
pick and choose our favorites.
Yeah, we're ranking them according to each other, not according to other movies.
And then my number 9 is Crybaby.
My number 9, I think, is also Crybaby.
It's good. It's campy. It's fun. It's everything John Waters. But I think it's a little on the more boring side for him.
My number 8 is Serial Mom. I'm sorry.
Same. I think this is one of his like better structured and like plotted out movies.
But it's just like it's
not quintessential John Waters, but
it's not
also
as strong.
The court moments kind of bring it over the top.
God,
like those are so good.
I forgot to mention this. I've been saying this for years. I think it would be so funny to have a horror movie that's a horror movie in one half, and then the second half is a trial based on everything that happened in the horror movie, because I think that'd be really interesting, and this movie does that.
How is this a horror movie?
The idea is there.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm moving on. I've had that idea forever.
Number 7 is Multiple Maniacs for me.
Number 7 for me is Desperate Living.
Okay. Number 6 for me is Polyester.
Number 6 for me is also Polyester.
Okay. Next for me is Hairspray. Number 5.
Next for me is also Hairspray. I swear I'm not copying you.
I feel like you are.
Okay, shut up.
Number 4 is Pecker. I know it's like on the mundane side for John Waters, but I still love it. I think it's such a sweet movie.
Okay.
And I think there's a lot of funny characters in this one.
Number 4 for me is Pink Flamingos.
Interesting. Number 3 for me is Pink Flamingos. Love her.
Number 3 for me is Cecil.
Number 2 for me is Cecil.
Number 2 for me is Female Trouble.
That's messed up. Number 1 for me is Female Trouble, obviously.
And number 1 for me is Multiple Maniacs.
What?
I think just writing the summary for this plot made me appreciate it so much, and then also hearing John Waters' commentary over it made me appreciate it so much. I really enjoyed it.
People hate on that movie too much, I feel like.
Yeah.
Same with A Dirty Shame. A Dirty Shame is good. I hate everyone that hates that movie.
I haven't seen it. Maybe I will in the future. What is John Waters up to now? Do you know?
Apparently hosting shows in New York.
That's fun. We should move to New York and go to NIADA.
Or no, I don't know if it's in New York or LA, but he's hosting like concerts, which is so cool. I don't care who's playing. Like I would kill to go to that.
Yeah.
he's not really making movies anymore, I don't think. He made a
Unfortunately.
little short film for this 2020 Vision thing. His was the only like good part of it, honestly. It's on Criterion. Y'all should watch it. He calls himself Lars von Queer. If you know who Lars von Trier is, that is probably a lot funnier to you. But yeah, it's amazing. All right, so thank y'all so much for watching. That's gonna bring our episode to an end. Let us know what you thought about this.
Hold on. He was in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, he's in a lot of random movies. He's in a lot of movies.
That's
I don't
funny.
remember. I think he's like a random background character, but the fact that they let John Waters in a kid's movie, love. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, a comment on what your thoughts are, your own rankings. I'd love to hear. I know everyone's is so different for John specifically. And subscribe if you're interested in more. We're eventually going to redo a Greg episode, so if you like John Waters, I'm sure you know who Greg Araki is. You probably love him too. So thank y'all for watching. Bye.
Bye.